Hey, what's up, everybody? And this is Melvin from the Melvin Live Show. In case you're watching this for the first time and you're wondering what this is all about, well, this show, the main aim for me is to be able to share with you all the cool stuff that I do. And what do I mean by cool? Essentially, what I'm looking at is that I want to be able to share with you everything that I've learned in terms of my journey to build a one person $1 million annual revenue, all things digital business. And so that's the premise of my show here. And I want to share with you everything that I learned. And, so that includes strategy, that includes things like equipment I bought, and this includes like mindset. So what I've scaled it down to be is that on Monday, typically what I share is about things about mindset because I firmly believe that unless you have gotten your mindset right, the strategies that follow sometimes may not even succeed because you have the wrong mindset. And so I, for one, have greatly benefited from having the right mindset or being able to psych myself to have the right mindset so that I'm able to succeed in the game itself. Because in this journey, in this game itself, it's truly, um, what I would say. It's lonely and at the same time, it can be very demanding, and so there is a lot going on, and sometimes it can be very dark, and sometimes it can be very um, difficult to work with, right? And so that's something that I would want to share with you what's going on and how you can deal with the mindset bit. And then on Tuesday, typically what I share is I share about strategies, the strategies that I have come up with in terms of how to execute and what are some of the strategies that I've learned. What are the strategy mistakes that I've made, for example, so that you don't have to make those mistakes. So that's typically on Wednesday. On Tuesday. On Wednesday, I like to share with you in terms of the resources that I've been tapping on. For example, this can be books, this can be videos that I watch, this can be a mastermind group that I go to, for example. And so that there are many things here that I could potentially share with you. And this is something that I would really like to be able to talk to you more about that, right? And so the other aspect of it is that I also like to talk about the tools that I use. And so this goes down into things like, what are the apps that I use, what are the things that I do in order to be able to help me achieve my goal itself. Because, arguably these days we got more tools than we can ever imagine. And so tools shouldn't be the main problem for us because we have availability of tools anywhere and everywhere and at any time at your disposal and sometimes even free. And so that shouldn't be something that we are concerned with. The other thing that I really like to also talk to you about is this idea about what are some of the platforms that you have to you want to check out. So for example, right now I am tingling with TikTok. TikTok is one of the platform that I'm looking at. I don't believe that I'm late to the game, but what I believe is that I need to better understand how I could leverage and be able to tap on that platform itself. Yes, could I have gone in there earlier, but I was focusing on something else to that effect itself. So no regrets, right? So that's a business decision. That's a strategic decision that I've made, and that's how it is. Now, and then on Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, I typically like to share with you what's happening um, in the household because arguably the one of the key thing that I really think any entrepreneur, any startup person, any startup founder needs to have, it's that ability to have that support of the family. And that goes beyond just support from the spouses, also support from the children as well. And you'd be surprised, my son sometimes hold me to a very high standard of accountability because I hold him to that same standard likewise. And then on Sunday, I sometimes I share whatever I want to share because it's Sunday, right? So yeah. So today I want to talk to you about this idea of, you when you need it and you don't have it, it kind of pisses me off, right? And so what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about here predominantly is this idea of um, this thing that I just got in the mail, right? I just got this in the mail, and this was something that I was holding back to buy because it's not something that I needed on a consistent basis, but there are times when I need it and I don't have it, and I'm really, really pissed off because I just can't get the work done. And so what happened is that I look at the price and I look at the availability and the quality of the product itself, and I decided that, well, $20 to get this is definitely something that it's worth it because potentially I could see myself using it not just for my own, because as you know, I'm building this mobile stand for my live streaming of my videos as well as my live streaming or delivery of my courses, the courses that I'm doing training for. And so that mobile stand itself, it's not as easy to build as what they would like you to think, because yes, I could easily just buy whatever the YouTubers say and recommend and just buy everything as per what they say. But it's like it's not something that kind of meets your needs, and so I prefer to tingle with it a little bit. And so when I bought the stand, as you saw in that entire live stream of me building up the stand itself, I also looked at um, the other aspect of it, which is like, how am I going to um, how am I going to fit certain parts onto the stand? Because the stand is actually just a TV stand. It was not made to mount a light, a microphone, a camera, and certainly not made to mount the A10 mini as well as my computer and all that. So I want to be able to get all of that onto the stand itself and still make sure that the stand is super solid, right? I mean, it wouldn't tumble over just because my kids run over it. And so I was searching and the whole time for some of the parts that I need, but I couldn't get it, and some of it requires some DIY thingies like drilling and all that stuff. And then I realized that I do not have this. And so this just came in, and let me show you what this is. All right. There you go. So this, they actually have the seal there, which kind of make sure that it's genuine, and so you can know that it's whether it's been broken or not, right? Come on, Sony, do your work. Yes, there you go. All right, so I've broken the seal, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open this. And so, in case you're wondering what this is a pack of drills as well as a bunch of screw heads. And so I was sharing with my friend, my dear friend, that I just got this, and he showed me the tool set that he got, which is an Amazon Prime whole bag of tools with the drill and everything in there. And I was jealous because I thought he got a better deal than I did. And that's the thing with Amazon Basics, right? Because when you buy something, Amazon will then show you the alternative, and the alternative usually would be an Amazon Basics product. And arguably, most of the time, it's cheaper. And so if you're thinking like, hey, like for example, the other day I went out to get, I was looking for some cables, right? And I was searching for the cable itself, and then Amazon presented to me that this cable that I was searching for. So you green, in case you're wondering, I decided to go with you instead of buying the Amazon Basics. So I was looking for the cable, and I saw U Green, and I thought it made of pretty good quality, right? And U Green, good job, right? Um, and but Amazon presented with to me a bunch of additional options, and one of which was Amazon Basics. And so I think the U Green one was costing me like $9, and Amazon Basics $8, but for two. So it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, it's like if you're going to be getting that cable itself, why not get another one and you can keep it, and you could keep it, and in case the other one breaks down, you have another one. You do not need to buy them. Makes a lot of sense, right? But and besides, for the price of two, it's less than the price of one by these folks at Ugreen. But you know what? I look at the amount of cables that I have lying around at home, and I said, no, I mean, yes, I could potentially have another one, save a buck, and have another cable in my house. But I think this is not the way to consume. And so I decided to buy what I need to buy, and I decided to go with the U Green people because I've tried the products before, and it's been satisfactory, and I love it, right? And so I decided to do that. And so, so we were talking about this tools, right? I mean, this is something that you arguably you do not need. You do. I mean, how many times have you used this, right? I mean, he was telling me that he has got this set which got all the fancy whatever size you can think of. He's got this set itself, and he bought it in 2017. And just like most regular guys here in Singapore, we're not that hands-on, and so for him to get it, and to from 2017 till now, he have only used it a total of less than 10 times. And then I said this to him. I said that, well, this is one of the things that when when you think you do not need it, but when you need it and you do not have it, this is when it infuriates you, right? Because you feel like, oh man, if only I just had this bunch of drills. And truly, I was looking for the drills the other day because I was trying to fix the thing, and it wouldn't work the way I expected it to be. And so I needed to drill, but I didn't have the drill bits. And so it really irks me. But I could tell you for a fact that, this box here, what's going to happen is I'm probably going to be using it like less than 10 times as well. Truth of the matter is that I don't do that much drilling, more of, using it as um, using the screwdriver bit, but not much of a drill. But then the question is, if that's the case, why do you buy it? And I think this has got a deeper fundamental issue or concern, or the way that we behave, that requires closer examination. What do I mean by that? Essentially, is this: there are many things that actually we do not need. Many things, right? I mean, do I need an iPad? Yes, it's good to have, right? And it helps me because, like for example, on the iPad itself, I do most of my thinking work because I'm able to get down to drawing. I'm able to get down to typing, and with the iPad Pro now, and the keyboard, it has made it into a decent machine with great power, and I think it rivals the MacBook Air to a large extent, in a much more cooler form factor. And I think in terms of the way it works, I kind of prefer the iPad to the MacBook. Um, and And so it's a tool that I use for more for thinking, more creation, um, compared to the MacBook Pro, because the MacBook Pro, it's more of a tool that I use for high energy intensive work. For example, like live streaming right now, you need a good enough laptop. I mean, if you want to do this in live streaming, right? I mean, you really, really need a good tool. So yes, I didn't get this right off the bat as I was doing the live stream. I got this way after I started doing the live stream. In fact, I was just using whatever I have at the point in time, just to get it done. In fact, I at one point in time I was just using the webcam, and that was all that I was using itself. Nothing wrong with that because it works and it's good, but it's not great, right? And so I think a lot of time, many of the things we do not need. But then it comes to a point where we want to ask ourselves, will investing this amount of money be able to help us achieve a higher level of productivity? And if the answer is yes, and it's something that doesn't break the bank, it's something that you can afford, it's something that you do not have to borrow, it's something that you do not have to swipe your credit card and pay it 2 months down the road or by installment. If that's something that you can do, then I think by all means go get it. Because if that's something that could dramatically improve and enhance your productivity level, then that's absolutely something you must do. But if it is something just for the sake of having another toolbox, right? I mean, having another tool set in your home, then I don't think that it's necessary. So we come down to this discussion whereby should you always buy the best equipment when it comes to doing your work? I mean, I if I can tell you a secret, I bought this microphone. This microphone. This microphone. I bought this microphone for I think less than $20, and I mean, it's not great. I mean, it has its flaw. Without even me speaking, it's still picking up, um, sound and all that. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it can get better. Yes, it's a mono intake. Yes, it doesn't do a lot of things, but yes, it's also cheap and it gets the job done. And I think what's more important is to be able to recognize that this is something that is usable and it can get the job done. And once you have, once this thing breaks down, then of course, if I'm still doing this, then I will possibly invest in a better tool and arguably probably a more expensive tool. Because if I have gone out there and just buy the most expensive of tools and gadgets and stuff, and just because I want to start on a certain project itself, then what's potentially could happen is I'm going to have a room full of gadgets and products that are expensive, but I use like once or twice. And the reason for that is because I thought, you know, if if I want to do something, let's go for the best and let's invest in it. And then after that, die down and just put it aside. I think that is a terrible thing to waste, right? So how do you make your purchasing decision? I mean, do you have a certain criteria that you think through before you make a certain purchase? I'm sure you are more prudent than most people. So share with me what are your decision criteria when it comes to buying things, making decisions, and all that. I would love to know. I would love to learn from you if you have a better way, a better criteria, a better decision making process itself, because that's something that I am still working on improving. So if you have a tool, if you have a better way of doing it, share with me, right? And I am going to say this for the folks who are watching this and they're from Indie Hackers. Hi to you, and I thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel as well as my live stream here. It is something that I do on a daily basis. I've been doing this since May 28, and it's something that I jump on without knowing full well what's going to happen, how it's going to pan out. But as of now, I could say that I am happy with how it's going because the amount that I've learned is just tremendous itself. So if you got a question, if you got something that you would like me to cover during the live stream, drop me a comment or send me an email or hit me up on Indie Hackers, and I will speak to you on the next one. Bye for now.